Today I'm gonna show you how I do a glitter mug, and I used an old one because why use a new one when you have old one standing around being boring. So you can of course use a new one, or some mugs that you maybe sublimate and it didn't work out that great and you don't know what to do with it. Just use it for this project. When working with epoxy, make sure you always wear gloves. And make sure your area is covered with butcher paper or silicone mats, because epoxy is hard to remove. Just look at my scale. Also, when you start weighing your epoxy, make sure your cup is put on the scale before you put it on, because if you don't, the weight of the cup will add to your epoxy. Also, epoxy has always two compartments and you really need to read your own instructions, because every epoxy has its own ratio, so really read the instructions before you use it. And also, when you are using epoxy on a mug or a cup or something, you really need to use much. You see, I have a little. It's a shot cup. It's really small. You don't need much because it's only a layer you put on the mug, and you put several layers on it. But with time in between, you need to wait and let it dry first before you add another layer. So it is time consuming. It costs you like 1 or 2 or maybe 3 days to finish a cup, but most of the time it's just on your turner drying, and it doesn't cost you your own time. Make sure you mix the two components very well. And also, this turner I made myself. I think it cost me like 10 euros or something in total. If you want to know how I did it, just put something in the comments down below this video, and maybe I'll make a video how I made this turner myself. It's not very pretty, but it works. Also, make sure your cup is clean, so just use some alcohol to rub it, and some sanding paper, so you can sand the mug a little bit. And we are gonna put the first layer on, and just take your time and do it a little bit of epoxy at a time. Just don't start with too much, because it only will drip from your mug, and that's why you use a turner in the first place, because if it's standing still, it will all flow down to the bottom, and if you use a turner, it will flow around and it will stay on the cup, because it needs to dry like an hour or 10, so it has a really long curing time. So just let it turn around on your turner, and as you see, I just use my hands and put the first layer on it. And you just put your epoxy on the cup as much as you think is needed, and just make sure that everything is covered. And if you have some bubbles in your epoxy, just hold a hair dryer to it, or a lighter, and the bubble will pop. But my advice is just take your time for this. Don't rush it, and make sure every bit of the mug is covered, and let it turn very slowly. I have put the turner off a few times to cover the ear a bit better, because it turns too fast to get that ear done, but I'll manage. And yeah, well, that's it. I have covered it now with enough epoxy, and now I'm gonna glitter. I have put some butcher paper under the mug, because a lot of glitter is will fall off of the mug when putting the glitter on it. And this way I can put the glitter that is falling on the butcher paper back into the bottle when I'm done. And as you can see, I'm just covering it really slowly. And here it's covered fully. And I'm just checking for some spots that didn't cover that great. And then I'm adding some extra glitter, so I'm really sure that everything is covered. And that's the first layer you do for this mug. And it needs to dry, like I said, for a night. And then you will put a new layer on it. And as you can see, now I'm gonna get the butcher paper. I'm folding it together so I can put the glitter back really easy back into the bottle, and I waste minimum of glitter. And I can let my cup turn on my turner and wait for the next layer to put on the next day. Here I'm pressing the glitter a bit on the mug because I saw some glitter sitting loose. So, but you need to be careful, because if you push too hard you will push it away from the mug and you can start all over. So just finishing off the last spots I noticed that didn't have enough glitter, and you can see I have turned off the turner because the ear is really hard to do. But if you just be patient and take your time, you will get there. Now the mug is dry with the glitter, so I can do a next layer of epoxy. And that second layer is just like the first layer. Just put enough epoxy on the cup that you don't feel the glitter anymore, so that it feels smooth. And as you can see along the way, when you put more epoxy on the glitter, it will give a really nice shine to it. I won't put much explaining further for this layer, because it's just like the first layer. Just put it on slowly and just feel if you have put enough on your mug. And when it's all smooth like here and everything is covered, you have put enough epoxy on your mug, and you can let it sit and dry for a night again. Also, if you have time left or you have nothing else to do, you might want to make a nice vinyl decal on the mug. I made a fun text like a hug in a mug, and I want to give it away like a gift for someone that can use it, and put some chocolate in it and that kind of stuff. I also have made a really nice box, a chocolate box that will fit with this mug perfectly. I have another tutorial you can see, I will link down below. So as you can see, the mug is now all covered with epoxy, and we can sit it and let it dry. Now the second layer is dry. Now we can sand the mug, because it looks really pretty and shiny and smooth, but it isn't really smooth. You can feel it. If you have done this layer, you will know what I mean. So we need to sand the mug. I use really fine sanding paper, and don't worry how your mug will look when you are sanding it, because it when you put the next layer of epoxy on it, it will shine again. So don't worry too much about it. Just worry that it is smooth, and use your fingers and your hands to feel if it is smooth. That's how I do it, just by feeling it. And if everything feels good, then you can put on your final decal and you put your next and final layer on the mug. As you can see, I feel all around and feel if it's smooth. So just feel around just until you are satisfied with the results, and then you're done with sanding. You don't have to sand every spot on your mug, just the spots that feel uneven. To measure how big your decal needs to be, just do it with a ruler, and I just do it like this because I just wanted to put one text on it, and I can see how big it can be. So this is the way I do it. Don't be too hard on it. Well, this is the mug when I'm finishing sanding. As you can see, it's not pretty anymore. Here's my decal that I'm gonna weed and put on my mug, and you will see when we are doing that the mug will be way prettier and it makes more sense. As you can see, I just use a playful font to put on the mug. Nothing fancy, just fun. And by the way, I make my own weeding pens, so if you want to know where you can find them, they are in my Etsy shop or on my website, and I have them in different colors and they work very good. So if you want to have a new weeding pen, just make a stop at my shop. I also use often cheap transfer tape, and it's like a dollar shop that we have. It's called Action, and for €1 we have a cheap transfer tape, and for this kind of projects it's perfect to use because you are throwing it away after one use. So why bother using expensive transfer tape? And you can do it also with a painter's tape or something, but I like to see through it, so that's why I use transfer tape. And as you can see, it is really easy to put on a mug, and it sticks very well. So now that the decal is on the mug, we can put our last epoxy layer on it. And with this last layer, it's just important that everything is covered again, like I said with the previous layers, but also make sure you don't feel the decal through the epoxy. So make sure there's enough epoxy on the mug that it don't that you don't feel the decal sitting on the mug. And also, if you are giving away this this mug to anyone, just tell them it's hand wash only. It can be in the dishwasher, but it won't it won't make it any better. So just do a hand wash, and you will have you can enjoy it way longer than if you put it in the dishwasher. And as you can see, the sanding places that were all ugly and not shiny anymore are now shiny again. So it's like magic. It's really fun to see when you put epoxy back on your mug when you have sanded good, and it's all how do you call it? Well, not shiny anymore. That it will all shine back again, and that the glitters will glitter even more with that last layer. Well, I hope I explained it a little bit better for you, and that you now know how to make a mug, and will enjoy making it and make somebody happy with a mug like this. And you see, you can just reuse your old mugs or buy some new and make them pretty. If you like my video, please give a thumbs up, and if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, it really helps me a lot when you do. And I hope to see you in my next video. And please leave a comment if you have questions, and I will do my best to answer them as quickly as possible.